Welcome to another Empires and Puzzles Books video. Today we're going to be talking about screwing up team synergy with the 3-star and 4-star heroes. This is a follow-up to the video I did on the 5-star heroes. Basically what we're talking about is certain heroes that have unique specials that you do not want to be pairing together because they're going to be working against each other, which messes up team synergy. So just like the 5-star video, I will not be addressing heroes that have the same special that overwrite each other. So if somebody has defense down and you use another hero that has defense down, they're going to overwrite each other. That kind of thing should always be avoided or at least considered before you go too far into that decision. This is specifically about specials that don't work together or work against each other. Although I'm separating this into 3 and 4 stars and the other video had 5s, keep in mind that we mix teams up all the time. So part of this is just learning the logic of the things to look for and make sure you're not messing these up on your teams. Hope you find this video helpful. Let's get started with some 4s. The first 4-star hero I want to talk about is Merlin. Merlin you can only get during the Knights of Avalon event, 4-star dark hero. He attacks one enemy and does maximum damage depending on how much mana the enemy has. And he also gives them a status effect that says mindless attack. And what happens is in 3 turns, if they hit maximum mana, they're going to randomly attack one of their own allies, which is a really fun special to use. One of the challenges with using Merlin, though, you do not want to pair him up with somebody like Proteus or Little John, who decrease the mana generation of the enemy, because you need them to get their mana generated quickly so that Merlin's mindless attack takes off. If their mana generation is reduced too much, they are not going to fire as quickly, or you might miss the opportunity to have them fire at all. Likewise, you want to be careful of the heroes that reduce the mana of the enemy, like Liju Costume, and Chao. Since they reduce the overall amount of mana, it would be fine to use them after Merlin fires. So it would be a matter of timing them if you're using them together. It might be easiest just to avoid putting any of those 3 on the same team as Merlin. But be careful if you're going to use them as far as the order of firing. You want to wait for Merlin's mindless attack to fire after the mana is fully leveled, and then use one of the Lajus or Chao to reduce the overall mana. 2 other heroes you want to be cautious about using with Merlin are Hansel and Gretel. They're from the Grim Forest event, and they both have a unique special that does auto damage to the target once the target has maximum mana. Since their special, or at least that part of their special, works on the target getting maximum mana, it will overwrite Merlin. You can't have both a mindless attack and their auto damage active at the same time. Now, since these all attack individual heroes, or at least put that special on individual heroes, you can use them together. You just want to make sure you're not targeting the same hero so that you get the maximum benefit from all 3 of their specials. While we're on the subject of Hansel and Gretel, we need to also talk about concerns with them being paired with other heroes. Since their special, or at least part of their special, is predicated on the enemy hitting maximum mana, just like Merlin's special, we're going to have the same concerns about using Hansel and Gretel with Proteus and Little John, and the same cautions about using them with both Lajus and Chao. You want to be cautious about anybody who's reducing mana or freezing mana generation or reducing mana generation with these heroes that are going to be maximized when the enemy actually hits full mana. For now, we're going to be done talking about the challenges with the mana generation and mana reduction heroes being combined with those that seek maximum mana. And we're going to start talking now about the heroes with repost, those that counterattack once they're hit or once the team's hit. This would include Boral Costume, Sumitomo, and Cyprian. So unlike heroes that reflect any damage, these heroes are still allowing the team to get hit and take some damage, but they're counterattacking with a bigger hit backwards. So there are a couple of heroes that can screw this process up. So 1, you want to avoid heroes that silence, like Peter's. Obviously, if he's silencing the enemy's special, they're not going to be able to fire at you and have that counterattacked back. You're going to want to avoid pairing them with Little John Costume, as he gives the team the ability to dodge attacks. And you don't want to be dodging, you want the attack to happen so you can reflect it back. You also want to be cautious about using any of these repost heroes with heroes that affect accuracy, like Danzaburo or Hu Tao, since, again, you don't want the enemy to miss their shot. You want them to actually hit you so it can be counterattacked back. Now, what gets a little more confusing is heroes that provide defense up. This is where a judgment call will need to be made, because increasing the defense means that you will take in less damage on your end of the hit, but what your countering attack will also be less, since the defense up minimize that. Now, a unique way that you can look at the heroes that affect defense is actually Jack O'Hare. Just like the rest of the Springvale heroes, he actually lowers defense, which could actually increase the amount of counterattack. Now, obviously, he's going to take in more damage too with lower defense, but it'll make the shot that's going back much harder on the enemy. So use him wisely. Be careful with the defense up heroes. Good luck with dealing with these heroes that have repost. Another combination that we're going to want to avoid with the repost heroes, the ones that counterattack, are going to be pairing them with the ghost heroes, Amiona and Stonecleave. The ghost heroes, when they go into ghost form, wipe out any of the ailments or buffs that have been put on them. So if they're included in the the repost or counterattack, that's just going to get wiped out. So it's going to be an unused special. So I would not put them either next to each other or on a team where everyone is getting repost. On the topic of the heroes that ghost, Amiona and Stonecleave, we want to be really cautious about putting them anywhere near any other heroes that are going to be adding any kind of status effect to them that would be a buff, because they will get removed when they go into ghost form. So folks that are increasing defense or attack, people who are affecting mana, any of those positive status effects, you're not going to want to use those with the ghost, or you're going to be careful about how you're using with the ghost, because the ghost will just remove them as soon as they go into ghost form. So now we're done addressing the 4s. Let's jump in and look at a couple 3-star heroes that have some similar concerns. There are really 2 3-star heroes we're going to want to look at as far as them being potentially challenging to place with other 3-stars. The first one we'll look at is Pixie, who is also from Grim Forest. And just like Hansel and Gretel, she has a similar special of that auto damage when the enemy hits full mana. So that said, we're going to be concerned about using Pixie with heroes that affect mana generation, like Carver Costume, Chochin, or the Season 3 Idun, if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. We also want to be careful about pairing her with Renfield Costume, who steals mana. And then the heroes that reduce mana, we're going to want to make sure we fire them after her special has already decreased the health of the enemy when they hit full mana. So once they hit full mana and that health comes off, the mana comes off, we can then fire heroes that reduce mana, like Carver, Ganju, Botchin, Azar Costume. It might be easier just to avoid using them on the same team as her, so you don't have to worry about the timing. But again, with Pixie, she's working off, part of her special is working off the enemy hitting full mana. So you want to avoid anything that is going to cause that enemy not to hit full mana. The last hero we're going to be talking about in this video is Vodnik. He's a 3-star hero from the Pirates event. And like Merlin, he does more damage to the enemy depending on how much mana the enemy has. So that said, we're going to want to have him hit at his maximum strength. So we're going to want to, again, be cautious about the exact same heroes that we were talking about with Pixie. So Carver Costume, Idun, and Chochin, who slow down mana generation. Renfield Costume, who steals the mana outright. And then we don't want to use any of the heroes that reduce mana until after Vodnik has striked them. So Carver, Ganju, Botchin, Azar, and Azar Costume. So that's it for the heroes in the 3- and 4-star range that are problematic to be pairing together. If you have other suggestions or observations that I missed, please post them down in the comments. If you've not already checked out the 5-star version of this video, it is worth a look, since there are so many more 5s and they are much more complex, and there's a lot more opportunities to kind of screw up team synergy by not paying attention to the details on those special cards. Hope you found this helpful. Good luck, happy gaming, and hope the tiles go your way.